welcome to my channel. If you're new here, please like and subscribe. I'm taking this moment while my children are playing outside to make this video for you. So in this tutorial I will show you how to put together the Easter wall hanging kit made by Bucilla, and I'm super excited to do it, and it's requested by some of my subscribers, so here it is. If you want to learn how to put it together, please keep watching. Here is the kit that we'll be making. Super cute chick on the front, the little basket and little flowers. And when you get it, it has a bunch of felt and thread and beads and sequins and instructions. So I'm going to open this up. And on the back of this picture is this chart. So this is where you'll find all of the stitches that you need and the colors and how many strands. And this is the instructions. Make sure you read them all. If you haven't done a kit before, it's very helpful. So each instruction has a little checkbox next to it, so that's kind of nice. And then here's the picture, and there are the eggs. They're going to go in the basket. Alright, so we're going to get started, and here's all the felt. And in the middle of this felt, there's this, what do they call it? It's like a, what's the name of it? It's called Pellin backing. So we're going to use that Pellin backing as kind of like a backing for the wall hanging. So I've never used that before, so that'll be interesting. So here's the white felt that we'll be starting on, and we're just going to cut this out. Before we get started, we're going to have to organize this little water floss that they give you. So I'm just going to grab some scissors and open the bag. And inside this bag, you'll have your water floss, and you'll have your needles. Here's the floss, and here's the needles. The blue one is for beading. It's long and skinny. And the clear one with the little dots is the applique. It's a little bit thicker, a little bit shorter. The eye of it's a little bit bigger. Here are the beads and the sequins that we'll be organizing. And I'm going to go organize this off camera, because it does take a little time. So here's the chart that you'll go off of. It'll tell you the colors and how many strands. I usually go by how many strands, because some of the colors are a little bit hard to decipher. Like, for example, okay, so here are all my flosses. Here's all the floss that I organized. And two of the purples are very close together. There's a light purple, those are the grays, apparently. They don't look, there's periwinkle, and that's a gray, which is interesting because the light, that's not a trickery of the light. It doesn't look gray, it looks kind of purpley. And then here are the light purple and dark purple. See how close they are? I had to get a light and shine a light on them to figure out which one was which. So there's a light purple and the dark purple. And if you still aren't sure, that's okay. They're so close in color. If you mix them up, it's not going to make, a huge difference. So here are all of the sequins that are in bags. And some sequin colors I already had. I just kind of stuck them in the same bag. Back over to our white felt. We're going to cut this out and start on the background. So once you have it cut out, we're going to start on these lines that kind of mimic a wood background. And there are differences. So the straight line is different than the wavy lines. Just make sure that you pay attention on which lines. I mean, they're pretty obvious. This one's straight, that one's straight, straight, straight. So we're going to do those first, and we're going to use 3 strands of gray. And I'm telling you, these don't look gray. They look kind of purple, like a very, very light periwinkle color. And we are doing the outline stitch all the way down. I like to show you the beginnings of each stitch that I do so you have an idea of how to start them. And then once you get going, you get into this rhythm and you can start spacing them. And the key to that stitch is to space them neatly and evenly. See how even that is? Okay, so we're going to do that to the rest of the straight lines. So I went ahead and finished the straight lines, and it took a lot of thread. The wavy lines are the exact same color, but 2 strands instead of 3. Okay, so we're going to skip down to this green piece because I ran out of gray thread, so I had to contact Bucilla and have them send me more. So until I can get more, we're going to skip down to this piece and we're going to applique. We're going to embroider this piece with 2 strands of green, and we're doing the same stitch, same outline stitch on the green. And this is where I usually find the sequin colors. It's usually by the number. So if you have a hard time finding color sequins, then try and find the number. So we're going to do green sequins on this piece. Here is my pile of sequins, and we're using 2 strands of green, like a dark green, to match the sequin color. I try really hard to match the color. So grab a sequin and then grab a bead, and the bead should rest in the sequin like a little saucer. And we're going to do 2 knots because these beads are far apart from each other. Usually if you're beading in sequence, like one after the other, I don't bother double knotting, but because these are more spread out, I like to reinforce the bead and sequin with going up and down twice. And I always double knot in the back of each bead. And you're going to do this for every single bead on this piece. And I like to hide my tail. I know nobody will see it, but, you know, I like to hide my tail anyway. Alright, we have all the beads and sequins on the piece, and we are going to applique it onto the main felt piece. And make sure that it's centered. Okay, so I'm going to take 1 strand of green, same color you used for the beads, and I'm going to use the applique stitch. And I sped this part up because it took a little longer than I wanted, so I'm just going to show you the beginnings of the applique stitch. And we use this stitch for every single piece of felt that we put on our projects. So you'll get good at it the more you do it. And here is the piece completely appliqued onto the front felt. There's the back of it. Okay, and now we're going to work on the leaves next. This leaf is leaf number 3, and we'll be using the same color, dark green, 2 strands, and the outline stitch. And notice there's a little bit of gapping on this leaf. I just did it all the way. I didn't really care. Because, you know, as long as because we're going to cover it up later. And here's a close-up of what the outline stitch looks like. And here's a close-up on the finished outline stitch. Okay, so we are going to put this leaf right here and secure it with 1 or 2 pins, and then you're going to use the same you're going to use the applique stitch for the leaf. You're not going to stuff it. So here's the leaf, completely appliqued and beaded, by the way. Forgot to mention that I did bead it. And here is the other leaf. Now this leaf is the straight stitch and not an outline stitch. So I just went ahead and did this straight stitch off camera, and you're going to use the same color on the leaf. Okay, so I went ahead and added the beads and sequins on the leaves, and I appliqued these leaves on there. So that's what I have done so far on this Easter wall hanging, and in my next tutorial I will show you the next steps. I will put together the chick on the front and stuff it, and I'll show you how to do that. So look out for that next tutorial. I'm trying to post once a week. It's been rather crazy here since, You know, the whole coronavirus pandemic is happening and most of us are stuck at home, and I figured, hey, I might as well do a fun Easter thing. So this wall hanging I will be making and putting on my Etsy store, and if you're interested in it, please send me a private message either on my Instagram or message me on Facebook, or you can even comment down below and be like, hey, I want this wall hanging, and I'll put it on my Etsy store, and I'm super excited to finish it. So please look out for that next tutorial, and check out any links down below for all the items that I use for making these kits, as well as my Etsy shop link is also down there, so check that out. I'll see you guys next time. Bye!